Welcome to The Explainer. You know those strange ideas you find online, maybe late at night, that are just plausible enough to make you stop and think? Well, today, we're diving headfirst into that rabbit hole. We're looking at conspiracies that aren't about lizard people, but about the hidden logic you might be missing in your everyday life. Let's kick things off with a classic internet debate, the Chuck E. Cheese pizza. The theory's pretty simple. When you see a pizza where the slices just don't seem to line up right, it's because the employees are supposedly taking uneaten slices from other tables, putting them together, and reheating them as a fresh pie. Now, of course, the company says this is absolutely not true, but honestly, the photos customers post online have kept this one alive and kicking. And that's exactly the kind of thing we're digging into today. These are the theories that are just grounded enough in reality to make you pause and go, wait a minute, maybe? They make you wonder if there's this whole other layer to the world you thought you knew. So let's start with the things we see all the time. First up, we're exploring the secrets of everyday life. This is where internet detectives find some pretty wild motives hiding in the most ordinary places. Okay, if you've ever tried to park at a Trader Joe's, you know the absolute chaos I'm talking about. Well, the theory here is that this is no accident. It's a strategy. By intentionally designing these tiny, frustrating parking lots, the company creates this powerful illusion that they are always packed and popular. Plus, it's a great way to cut down on real estate costs. So, is it a brilliant business move or just a terrible design? You be the judge. All right, next up is a frustration that has been around for decades. Why is it that men's pants can hold a phone, a wallet, keys, the whole shebang, while so many women's pockets are either completely fake or can barely fit a tube of chapstick? Is this just a random fashion choice, or is there something more calculated going on? And that leads us straight to the pockets versus purses theory. The argument is super straightforward. If your clothes can't hold your stuff, well, you have to buy something that can. By making pockets tiny or just for show, the fashion industry basically creates a built-in, never-ending demand for handbags. See? It's not a bug, it's a future. A business model, really. Now let's talk about something we've all felt in our wallets lately. Grocery prices. A restaurant owner on Reddit posted that their price for a single egg shot up from just 9 cents to $1.50. $1.50. The official reason we're all given is the avian flu, but some folks are starting to suspect a different kind of foul play. And this brings us to the whole idea of greedflation. Right, the bird flu is a real problem. But the theory asks, are the big industry players using this crisis as a cover to intentionally squeeze the supply and jack up prices? And here's the thing that gives this theory real teeth. It's not just speculation. Some of the biggest egg suppliers in the US have already been found guilty of price fixing in the past. So we've moved from questioning corporations to questioning history itself. Because, if powerful people might mess with prices, what's to stop them from trying to mess with the past? These next few theories suggest the official story might not be the whole story. For years now, cursive handwriting has been slowly disappearing from schools. The official line is that it's just an outdated skill in a world of keyboards and touchscreens. But a pretty compelling online theory suggests there's a much more deliberate, maybe even sinister reason for the change. And here's the core of it. If future generations literally can't read cursive, how can they read foundational historical documents, like the Constitution or the Declaration of Independence, in their original form? The argument is that this isn't about saving time in the classroom. It's about creating a barrier that makes our own history less accessible to the very people it belongs to. Now for a real American legend, the D.B. Cooper heist. It is the only unsolved case of air piracy in U.S. history. The story we all know is that a man hijacked a plane, got $200,000 in cash, and then just parachuted out into the wilderness, never to be seen again. He's a myth. But a popular Reddit theory has a much simpler and maybe more believable explanation. What if the reason D.B. Cooper was never found is because he wasn't real? The theory goes that the whole thing was an inside job. The flight crew supposedly just invented the hijacker, faked the whole ordeal, and split the ransom money themselves. They might have even tossed some cash out of the plane just to create a false trail. No ghost, no mystery man, just a very clever heist. All right, let's switch gears and head over to Hollywood, where fans are the ultimate detectives, connecting dots to create theories that are so brilliant you kind of want them to be true. This might just be the most famous fan theory of all time, the case for Darth Jar Jar. The idea is that Jar Jar Binks, widely seen as the most annoying character in Star Wars history, was secretly a powerful, manipulative Sith Lord. Think about it. His so-called clumsiness always seems to help the bad guys. His hand gestures look a lot like Jedi mind tricks. And, most importantly, he's the one who proposes giving Palpatine emergency powers. Was he a fool, or was he the evil mastermind hiding in plain sight? Okay, this next one connects two movies you would never put together. It suggests that Kevin McAllister from Home Alone grows up to become Jigsaw from the Saw movies. I know, but listen, you have a kid who shows genius-level talent for creating these elaborate, painful traps, and he clearly gets some kind of joy out of watching his victims suffer. The timeline might be a bit of a stretch, but the psychological profile, it's kind of creepily perfect. Now this one is a wild ride, but the logic is surprisingly fun. The theory claims that the dark, dystopian movie Snowpiercer is actually a secret sequel to Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. Just look at the parallels. You've got a mysterious genius inventor, a fantastical self-contained world, and a group of people who get picked off one by one as they move from the back to the front. The idea is that Charlie Bucket grew up to become Wilford, the train's creator, and just applied Wonka's principles on a much, much darker scale. Okay, for our final section, we are zooming all the way out. We're going beyond everyday items and Hollywood movies to look at theories that don't just question an event, but the very nature of our reality. So the Large Hadron Collider at CERN. Officially, its purpose is to smash particles together to study the building blocks of the universe. But a popular theory online suggests it's doing something much, much weirder. The idea is that every time they fire that thing up, it has the potential to nudge our entire reality into a slightly different parallel universe. And this, the theorists say, is the perfect explanation for the Mandela effect. You know, that thing where thousands of people misremember the exact same detail from the past? It's not a false memory. It's a real memory from a universe we just left. And for our final theory, let's look up. For decades, we've just assumed that if UFOs are real, they must be from another planet. But a really fascinating theory suggests something else entirely. What if they aren't from another star system, but from our own future? What's so compelling about this theory is how neatly it answers some of the biggest questions about UFOs. Why do gray aliens have that familiar humanoid shape, head, 2 arms, 2 legs? Because there are distant evolutionary descendants. Why don't our super powerful telescopes see them zipping between galaxies? Because they don't have to. They're not traveling through space, they're traveling through time. They are, essentially, us, coming back to watch their own history unfold. And that, of course, leaves us with the biggest, most chilling question of all. If our own descendants are taking the incredible risk of traveling through time to watch us, there must be a very, very good reason. The real question isn't just who they are, but what event, what catastrophe are they coming back to witness? Or maybe, what are they desperately trying to warn us about? Thanks for joining me on this explainer.